about, we're going to talk about open house strategies tonight. So on how to really turn it into a lead generating opportunity. And I've got Lisa Schultz here with me tonight, and she's going to speak for a good amount of time. But before I turn it over to her, I wanted to share with you guys an experience that I had, and I am not doing the open house checklist. In fact, I refused this last weekend, and it is so busy that I picked up clients from it. So I know that the open house, if you do the strategies that Lisa's talking about, it does work. I didn't even do the full-blown open house checklist the way she has it outlined on the screen. And I picked up a couple of clients this past weekend. So I didn't even do a full open house with signage and all that. It was just a broker's open. Wow. Literally, I posted it, emailed it out to agents. Heather Riedel.
Yep.
She sent her clients over. And the neighbors saw it, and so pretty much picked up some other opportunities in that neighborhood. So I do know the open houses work. I don't like them as much, but I find people like Lisa Schultz, who has done a lot of open houses and had success when she was selling real estate, doing open houses. And I partner with people like that who like to do them and know how to generate leads from them, and then give you guys this type of training. So hopefully you'll take some notes tonight. If not, if you want some materials after the recording, if you want to send me an email, I'll be happy to put you in touch with Lisa and the materials we're going to go over tonight so that you could work them into your own business and make them work for you. So first question I have, Lisa, for you is, what do you think you should do if I think I'm going to do an open house? What do you think I should do? The first thing I need to do.
Well, I think some of the great stuff is ask yourself these questions on getting an open house. Is it your open house, or are you doing it for a listing agent? Because there's a lot of people who do that.
Right. So let's just say I was for any listing agent. I just want to generate business. I want to generate buyers.
If you want to generate buyers or sellers at an open house and you want to do an open house, you need to think of it as a job interview. Okay. So make sure your open house has enough communication prior to the open house that you're going to get people in, and you're going to give a checklist to either the seller's agent, or other people about what you've done to generate interest on the house.
Okay.
What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, if it's not your listing, ask the listing broker if
to provide you with the legal description, the property profile, that kind of stuff.
And see if you can meet with the seller.
Oh, that's
right?
a good idea. Yeah.
Because the seller knows their house. So a lot of listing brokers will say, yeah, do an open house, and you just kind of pop in the house cold.
Right.
Right? So ask if you wouldn't mind having me talk to the sellers, find out why they want to move, what they love about the house, what they don't like about the house. Then you don't have those defactors, right?
Yeah, I don't want the awkward conversation, right? So if you meet with the seller ahead of time, or you have that conversation with the listing agent, that would probably be a good way to introduce the property to other people.
Yeah.
Because I knew the backstory. You know, they were friends of mine, they were neighbors in Edgewood. And so as people were touring, I'm like, oh, and this neighbor and that neighbor, I kind of knew the story. And I think that resonated with the buyers that were coming through.
Yeah, and you know Edgewood.
Yeah, I did. I lived there all my life. So.
Right.
Right.
So if you don't know the neighborhood, you don't know the house, but you know it's a hot market. So if you're going to pick a neighborhood.
Pick one you really want to do.
Exactly. Don't pick the one that the heat map is cold. Yeah. You're going into Northwest MLS and you're looking at what's gone pending. Is there a hot area, right? Those are the listings you want, because those guys have drivers in there and they're all desperate right now anyways. So first of all, know that your open house, you're doing that as part of your portfolio. Build like the checklist and your steps to an open house so that you can use it for a listing presentation. And remember, a lot of people who want to be sellers are coming in to check you out. So of course your listing profile package. The other thing is, if you think you're going to dive into open houses, create your own notebook, either or an ebook, right?
Nice idea.
Yeah, so you can talk about a community and what you do and your specific marketing that makes you unique to other agents, right? Because a lot of listing agents say, I'm not going to do open houses. I've got some top agents in my clientele. They do open houses every weekend because they are farming that neighborhood. They want name recognition, they want face recognition, and they are showing what they will do for you at your house when you're
ready to do the listing. Okay,
absolutely.
Awesome. So this checklist that Lisa, you've got up here on the screen. So when should I start thinking, like say I want to get into open houses. When should I start like prepping for the open house?
This one says 7 days. I will tell you that I'm learning a lot about social media, and a lot of you guys are already on top of it for social media, that you are looking at a 10-day lead for your algorithm to start taking effect. So the sooner you can get in the house you want for an open house and do a quick little video tour of it, showing just maybe some key features or talking about when it's going to be open, that's helpful because you're getting that up there on Facebook or LinkedIn, also Pinterest. Don't forget about key pictures of Pinterest, right? So ideally it'd be great, but I know our market's moving so quick. So if you can follow the 7-day checklist, doing open houses, if you know on Monday before, I'm going to do the open house, I'm going to call my title company, I'm going to walk the neighborhood. I may have time to do a postcard, although I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah, postcards aren't really working very much, is what I've heard.
Well, here's what's interesting. I was with an agent of Best Choice a couple weeks ago, and they had the same feeling. And we saw where their postcards on Corfac got 6 hits.
Oh, really?
Right.
6 hits already?
6 hits out of 100.
Dang, that's
so you have a
not bad.
6% response rate to activate that, hey, I'm interested in what my house value is worth.
Right.
So you might not think it's working, but you know what?
It might be the wrong property.
It might be the wrong property.
Yeah.
If the area is hot, people want to know what their values are doing, especially with that. So first of all, you get your listing profile package. Then Shannon has a very cool product that Chicago Title does. If you don't work with Chicago, shame on you, just kidding. Check if your title company has what they call a neighborhood trend report, and Shannon will put that up.
Okay.
Can
you put that up, Shan? The neighborhood trend report? Awesome.
The neighborhood trend report, and we just did this one for a Buckley address today. And you can see that it's got great talking points. It really looks at what the market's done from 2012 to current. What's your average length of residence, right?
Okay.
So this is a great handoff piece for somebody who wants to know statistically what's going on in the neighborhood. The other thing it does for you is it's a great door knocking piece. So on the back side of this, put your open house flyer, and on the other side, put this neighborhood trend, and then you're giving an item of value as well as marketing your neighborhood.
Oh, that's a good
your
idea.
Open house.
So do a front to back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be easy to print it, even in the office if you guys wanted to do it. Well, she was talking about the about syndicating out to the social media. I know a lot of you guys. Cheryl was on the phone. We did her first post on the group, on Facebook group. And so I know some of you don't want to do that. If you want to just pay our office to do the syndication, we syndicate to Pinterest and Facebook and Instagram.
Right.
We do all of that for you for $50. So you don't have to even think about it. We take your remarks and then put on there what time of date you're doing your open house, and we'll do your social media marketing ahead of time. And we found that a good week before is plenty of time. So if you start thinking about it about 8 or 9 days ahead of time and then pay the $50, we'll go ahead and get that out to our Facebook followers and people that are on syndication.
Yeah. What do you think about creating a Facebook event for your open house?
I think it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't forget to create an event about your open house.
For your own personal Facebook account.
Own personal Facebook account. Also, if you wanted to do a geographic ad, if you guys do that, or if you're doing it on your own, make sure you do a geographical Facebook ad on it as well.
That gets a lot of eyeballs right now.
Lots and lots of eyeballs right now.
Cool. What other fun things have you got to show?
We've always got lots of fun things. So other things that we've got now, a lot of this marketing all are free. Breakthrough Broker has some great stuff. If you have not create an account, breakthroughbroker.com. You've got some samples of your open house guide, your open house checklist.
So go ahead and show that. A lot of people are like, oh, what do I do? I've never done open houses. Maybe you're a newer broker. I love how they put this together. It's very visual. It kind of gives you a checklist of things to do.
Yep. And then you've also got sign-in sheets. Some people like to have their iPad available, so it'll automatically go into their CRM. Other people like a guest register. It's whatever your comfort level is. But remember, your goal is to find prospective clients. So
how do you get them to sign this guest register?
You can do it. Yeah, it's kind of hard in different ways. Some people say my sellers require me to have you register. If you don't feel comfortable with one piece, leave it out, but I do need something. Other people, I've done door prizes when I was selling and it worked out great. It's like, hey, I'm not going to harass you, but
You just tell them up front. You
I
say,
tell
I'm not gonna. You guys feel free to look around the house, right? Kind of that way, but
Yeah.
But the sellers require you to sign in.
yeah, I used to do a $25 Red Robin card and I'd say, hey, if I get your name, I either need an email or a phone number in case you win. Now, put a star there if you want additional real estate information, or don't put a star there and I'll only let you know whether you won or lost.
Oh, that's a good way to handle it.
Yeah, and
It's no
and
pressure.
I have a lot of people willing to do it. Now, do you need to do $25 every single open house? No, it could be in a weekend. You know, and I, from a managing broker, what's the rules on doing that?
You can do it still.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
So remember, it's the names. Your guys are doing it to get these people.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's all how you say it. I mean, I felt
Okay.
really comfortable. I'd probably sign in just because I didn't want to, feel awkward about it.
Yeah.
So if you feel awkward, it's probably going to show through with the clients.
Absolutely.
Or the people coming through.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you know, a lot of people will have at your open house, you can create an open house kit, right?
Okay.
Bottled water, bag of Oreos. Right now, Girl Scout cookies are on sale. So you know what? Serve your community.
Support the community.
Support them, and then have them out, and they'll think you're a nice person. Open house feedback. So there's a lot of different paper stuff. And just remember, all of this stuff is to support you and your business on how people perceive you as a real estate professional.
Okay.
Market's hot.
Open house feedback. So some people have used the open house feedback sheets. I think they've been helpful. It depends on the type of listing you have, right? How do you know what to bring in your kit? Do you kind of like segment it out, and some people get this type of package? I know you've done some sign installations, putting more signs up, been really important.
Yeah, it just depends on what your plan is, right? If you have the time, the more signs the better.
Yeah.
Because
so what would you say minimum signs?
I wouldn't want to do an open house with less than 12.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Rochelle and I, we've done open houses and we've put up to 24 different signs, and we've had good traffic.
Yeah. Well, I think those are the times we've got a lot more traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were feeling like, oh, nobody's coming through my open house, you may want to think about just putting more signs up.
Yeah.
Something's as simple as that.
Yeah. I also read a great article, and I know we're not in this market right now, but there are some listings that aren't selling. And one of the best articles, and I'll share it later with you guys, is it says 8 things to do before you do a price reduction. And one of the 8 is to do an open house. Get new eyeballs in the house.
Idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So think of the open house as another tool for you to do the best job possible for your clients.
Yeah, we did one that Lisa's kids put up the signs for. It was in Federal Way, and it was kind of funny. We had lost the buyer, to your point, and the buyer walked away literally the day of closing. I had this listing. It was a friend. It was my brother-in-law's neighbor that we took their listing, and we had to scramble to put the staging back into the house. Called Lisa. I said, hey, can we hire your son or your daughter?
It was my son.
Yeah, your son came and put all the signs up. And we had multiple offers and got a cash buyer that weekend, but it was from the open house. It was just so much exposure and hype around putting that back on the market. The sellers think I walk on water now.
And the neighbors, they're impressed.
They're amazed.
They're used to seeing a neighbor or two. When you
put a lot of signs up, they're like, what are they doing?
Yep.
Yeah.
And make sure in your house, you've got information on you, your promotional marketing brochure. It doesn't have to just be about the house. It's about you and your business. Also, I always say in your open house kits, thank you notes and stamps. Use this time, although our market's so hot, you might not have time. It didn't sound like you had time to hang out and do anything.
Even this weekend, I didn't. I was like 2 hour brokers open. I'll have time to read a book. That's what I told the sellers. It was busy the entire 2 hours. I didn't even have time to write anything.
Yeah. And if your safety's a concern, making sure you walk through the house with the sellers, whether you're your clients or another person's clients, it's all the safety checklists. Make sure their jewelry's hidden in a safe. Make sure their personal prescriptions are taken away. Nothing different than what you would expect to do on a listing. Make sure you do it on the open house. And if you've got a favorite lender or even another friend or a title rep or a coworker, partner with that to make sure that you feel safe as well.
I think that's what probably the number one reason. Jerry Kay and I were talking, like, why don't we do a lot of open houses? And she says, because I'm just by myself. And I think that makes you a little bit nervous. I think when you have somebody else with you, it makes you feel less, afraid to do an open house.
I agree. Some agents will invest in a Keurig, and they'll just have the Q cups with them because, it takes a little bit of time to make that cup of coffee as you're talking with them. Have a small bucket of ice because they want an iced coffee.
Right.
Give them a little bit of things that creates some time and conversation with each other. The other thing, show them, a lot of people are using their phones, but paper still works really well. Print out similar houses in a 4-mile radius, preview those things,
definitely.
and make notes, right? Because they all want to have your secret sauce.
Right.
So for them to be sitting there going, oh, did you see the house down the street? Yeah, I did see the house down the street. Oh, but did you get inside? No, I just the pictures. Oh, well, I've been inside. It smells like cat.
Yeah.
Whatever, right?
It's just showing your local knowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think the one takeaway that my coach always told me is when you were doing open houses, Rochelle, because I was like, I hate doing open houses. And what do you have? Well, it's because you're basically telling them too much. Let them talk. Mm-hmm. So they would say, in fact, take your flyers. If you've got flyers out on the sign, you got to take those flyers out. Don't even put your flyers up or have them in the box because people won't come in the house. You want them to come in. Take those out. And then, in fact, he advised for me not to even give them a flyer. I was giving them too much, right? And so he advised I take the flyer. Don't even bring flyers to the house. Just take my notebook. And then when somebody came into the house, just say, what can I tell you about the house? And just have a conversation. People feel much more comfortable than if you give them a flyer, they're like, oh, thanks, and they have all the information or they think they have all the information. When if you don't have any flyers at all, you basically open up that dialogue. What can I tell you about the house? And then let them feel more comfortable about asking you about the house.
Is there a non-negotiable that you absolutely have to have in this house?
Right. Or it's a 4-bedroom and you find out, oh, there's a bonus room and it's a 3-bedroom, but it has a bonus. It meets their needs.
Yep.
So if you had a flyer that said only 4-bedroom or 3 bedrooms, and then it's like, but this house would work for them.
Right.
So you just really want to have that conversation rather than just give them so much information. I think also at the station, if you set it up in the kitchen or the entrance, do you have kind of a preference of where you would set up this like center where people would have that conversation?
That's a good question. Where do you think? I wouldn't put it right at the door. No. Yeah, you get them into the places that are most important. Right. So either I can't say family rooms, but the back room where they normally watch TV,
right,
or the nook or the kitchen somewhere, or one of your favorite, most comfortable rooms that you think is their best selling room.
Okay.
The master bedroom might be kind of a little weird, but the soaking tub, just put them in the soaking tub.
Right. But no, I think I see it mostly in the kitchen, like on the counter.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid to just, you stay out. I think with the posts that make me feel comfortable are the people that have their center, but they greet them at the front door.
Yep.
And then walk them through the entrance and then have that conversation before they leave.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. And then, and then we've talked about it before. I'm a huge advocate for
I can't hear anything.
Can you hear us now? There we go.
Oh,
There's Lisa. So we're going to just say goodbye, but we had, I think, a few more things we were going to cover. What was, oh, you were going to do
Yeah.
the script.
here's your quick script, and I'll type it out for you guys and send it to you. As you're door knocking, this is what we say.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Lisa. I'm with Best Choice Realty. I'm not asking if you want to sell your house. I'm inviting you to an open house, but I'm doing a little bit of marketing research right now, and I've got 2 quick questions if you have a second.
Okay, what's the question?
What made you move here?
I just love the community, the atmosphere. They have the cute park down the street and the schools.
That is awesome. If you were to go anywhere, where would you want to move next?
Probably get away from traffic, go to Montana or somewhere.
Oh, geez. Is that in your plans soon?
No, probably not. Not until the kids are grown.
Okay, well, the reason I do this is because I want to give the best insight into this neighborhood, and you've helped me do that. So here's my card. Please come by. I have a $25 gift card. No obligation, but we'd love to have you in because my job is to make sure that as many people get to see the house that I'm hosting.
Okay, awesome. Well,
Thanks
thanks so
so
much
much.
for coming by.
Oh, appreciate it. Oh, and by the way, on the back,
Yeah?
how long have you lived here?
Oh, about 5 years.
5 years. Your house is almost doubled in price per square foot on
Really?
marketing. So on the back, there's some research that I put together for you, and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call.
Nice.
Okay?
She's good, you guys. So you have to be, prepared, right? So you got to get your, how much does that cost? Is it $1?
$1. You can make as many
$1.
copies as you want.
Okay, so $1 to get your, what's it called, neighborhood report?
Yep, trend report.
Trend report.
Just email me. We'll set it up. It's less than 24 hours. So I literally ordered this about 4 hours ago for you.
Awesome.
Updated.
So that seems pretty simple. And then you just have to do the script.
Mhm.
So,
Oh, and then don't forget about your awesome listing box and your buyer's package box that Best Choice puts together. Let them see what you're ready to do as soon as they hire you.
that's awesome. Have those available. If you don't have them in your car, you can get yourself a sample box. And any of their offices sell them. So have a great week, you guys. Is there any questions? We'll open it up. Looks like we have 5 minutes for questions. And I have access to all of these materials. If you need them, just send me a quick email and I will forward or have Carly tomorrow forward this stuff to you.
And then, of course, if you would like a more detailed run through on different apps that you can use, Chicago Agent, which is an awesome conversation we didn't even talk about, for sellers' net proceeds and buyers' amortizations and what they can afford. That's a whole other conversation. We've got Walking Farm, and of course, I'm happy to talk you through Breakthrough Broker. The tools are great, but it's how you use them to make you money that's important to me for you.
So somebody said, what is that called? It's the market trend report.
Yep.
Okay, that's the report that Louisa was asking about. And then Breakthrough Broker, we talked about that briefly, breakthroughbroker.com. Chicago likes Breakthrough Broker. Any of those title and escrow companies, they highly recommend that. And then how many hours do you typically hold your opens for? That's a great question,
Great
Ben.
question.
I tend to because I don't do them that as much, but I think it really depends on the listing. I'm seeing it usually for 3 hours is usually what I'm seeing. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, and we're starting to see a lot more evenings. It's interesting. It's depending on your time of day. I've seen people who do it 11 to 2, and they're getting the after church bunch, or on Sundays, or I'm seeing in the evenings from 3 to 6:30. Look at your neighborhood. Look at where that activity is. It's a great question to ask your neighbors. Hey, when's the most active time in this neighborhood?
Yep. Ask your seller maybe, would it be, when would you like me to host it? Sometimes it depends on what they have going on too.
Yeah.
But typically I would say 3 hours would be what I would do.
Yeah, and piggyback on each other. So if you guys have a listing within a couple miles of each other, make
Talk
it kind
to
of
each
a
other.
road show.
Sure.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yep. I'm going to see more evenings as well. Any other questions? Great question, Ben and Louisa. Are you guys using sign-in sheets or not? I think that was the #1 mistake that a rookie agent made. It's like, there's all these people that came through. I said, well, where's all their names? Oh, I didn't have them sign in. I was like, oh boy.
Right. How do you
Yeah.
capture them? How do you continue on? And like I said, there's a couple of different apps, Open House Buddy, that are great, but they say you've got to make sure your Wi-Fi connection's good in the house,
Right.
or they're struggling and then they see your technology as a reflection of you, which is no good.
Yeah, so you want to make sure you're comfortable with whatever you're doing. So a simple piece of paper, I've done just a paper in my bag, just to collect the information. You need something though. How do you open it? How do you hold an open house in the gated community? I've done that before. Have you?
Mhm. Yep,
What
absolutely.
do you recommend for that?
Well, first of all, have your seller, they can open the gates from a certain time, check with the CCNRs and have them do that. The other thing that I've seen people do is you can put your business card on the key box saying, please call me or text me directly. And then you have that gate code. And before you let them in, ask them their first and last name and what kind of car they're driving. Now you've captured their name and you know the kind of car that they're driving. If they don't pull up, you could have a security breach, but you're trying to do everything to make it as safe as possible.
And you can
And
still
capture
do
the
all,
names.
you can still do all the for sale signs throughout.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that you don't let the gated community thing steer you away from not doing open house.
And if you've got a gated community, you probably have a Facebook neighborhood page. Make sure that you are able to post it if you can. And check with your HOA, because the last thing you want is somebody raising a whole ruckus in your open house. So give prior approval. That's why planning 7 to 10 days out is always a really good thing.
Yeah, very good. Any other questions? We got a couple more minutes and then we're going to be out. Yeah, there's some social media, some good tips you have for that. We didn't have time to go through everything here, but if you want to have this package, just send us a quick email and we'll be happy to shoot this over to you so you have access to it as well. Shannon, anything else for you? Any other side comments that we need to address?
Nope, I think we've answered most of them.
Okay. Well, wonderful. You guys have a great week. It's really busy out there. My phone rang off the hook today, so that's a good sign. We're in spring season.
Yes.
And it's like March Madness. It is crazy out there.
That's true. Put your shoes on. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Have a good one, you guys.
Okay.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank